Welcome everybody to a different game. See, I told you we'd be playing a different game. Today we are playing a game called Ridge Racer 5. It is a game I absolutely love. It's on the PS2, so this is I think this is the first PS2 video it's the first proper PS2 video I've done. I did a few on my old channel, but they weren't like proper ones, per se. We're going to be playing through the whole game. I guess you can call this a Let's Play if you wanted to. Not in one video, it's going to be a series. And yeah, we're just going to go into Grand Prix, and we're going to do the standard class in this video. There's only one GP. So for those of you that have never heard of Ridge Racer before, it was a series of games, I think still going actually, that started on the PlayStation 1 it started in the arcades actually in 1993, and then was ported to the PlayStation 1 in 94. Am I right about that? I hope I'm right about that. I really don't know. I want the Mercurio. There we go. It's the only car I can bloody drive in this game. And this is the 5th installment, and this is kind of... Well, I played the first one, this one, and the 3D one on the 3DS. I really like the 3DS one. That was the first one I played. And... I played the first one and it sucks. I hate the first one. But I really like this one because the driving physics are very, very fun. And, well, you'll see. We'll get into it. It is an extraordinarily difficult game. I might suck. I haven't played this for a while. I do want the analog sticks on. There we go. We will be playing this with manual gears. Because I am a tryhard. And we'll have to see if we get copyright strike because the music is copyrighted in this game, so yay! But essentially the idea of Ridge Racer is you go full speed. In this game there are 13 opponents, which is a bizarre number. But essentially you kind of like drift round corners. It's far from realistic by any stretch of the imagination. Oh my god, I can't get by this guy for some reason. And yeah, it's basically just kind of the de facto arcade racer. If you couldn't tell, I do quite like racing games a fair amount. Whoa, god! The reason I like this car is because you can really kick the tail out on this thing. Like, look at that drift. It just did a drift around a hairpin at 140 kilometers an hour. What other game could you say you can do that in? Ah, he moved over. Yeah, there's this guy on the comms as well. We'll have to see if we have to turn him off for the sake of my own commentary. Oh god, I do not remember this course at all. Oh, this is objectively the best song in the game. This is actually how I got into the Boom Boom Satellites. I actually listened to them quite a bit, and it was all because of this game. Oh, actually, that's first place. I didn't realise we were that high up their rankings already. This is the first cup, so I think it is easier than the rest of them. Once we actually get... Well, I've already unlocked the better car, but we're going through this game from the start. So you kind of have this series of cars, and you have standard variants and extra variants. So you do the standard class to unlock the extra variant, and you have 4 cups in the extra variant. It's a slightly bizarre system. Okay, that was 180 kilometers an hour. Oh, I love this game so much. What's the look back button? It is that one, okay. I couldn't remember entirely. Oh, we're gonna have to drift around that. Yeah, I didn't even have to brake, I just lifted off the accelerator and you just fly around the corners, it's so fun. I also do like the Pac-Man time indicator in the bottom left. Because of course this is a Namco game. As for, I think all the Ridge Racers actually were Namco. Yeah, imagine playing this. I think arcades would have had this at 60 FPS or something. We're playing this at 25 at the moment. My Elgato is currently saying it's recording at 640 by 480, 25 frames per second, which is quite the interesting resolution. We'll have to see. I'm not sure it's gonna. It might get upscaled to 720 in editing. It sort of depends what I can configure DaVinci Resolve to do. There's no real point having it any higher than 480, considering the game's in 480. 480i at that as well is interlaced, not even progressive, because PlayStation 2 in this game doesn't support interlacing. No, it doesn't support progressive scans, sorry, I got the wrong way Oh my god, but we are playing it on component, not AV, so it actually looks the best it can. Well, without emulator anyway, but I don't want emulator, I want to play it on real hardware. You know, I'm a real hardware kind of guy. I play MK on real hardware and I play Ridge Race on real hardware. So we pretty much babbled our way through the whole of the first race and we ended up winning. Hell yeah. Of course I'm the Polaris Fox team, my car is orange. I actually made my... I can't remember how much you can customize the car. I don't think it's an awful lot. You can set the colour. I think you can set like a primary colour and an accent colour, and I went with orange and white to make it look a bit more like a Fox. We're not going to watch the full replay. I think is it X? It's X to move on. Not X, start. It's one of those games. And we enter the world's longest loading screens. The PS2 getting very unhappy about its situation. But yeah, over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be completing this entire game. Pretty much, well, with one car. I've never 100%ed it because I can't drive most of the cars in this game. There is a car called Fortuna, and I have absolutely no idea why it's in the game because it's terrible at handling and it's the slowest car in a straight line. I guess it might just be like the extra challenge mode or something, but it is impossible to drive because it's I think it's like 20 kilometers an hour slower than anything, and it just cannot go around corners to save its life. Which is interesting, but there you are. God, I just put my arm on the desk and I can feel the PlayStation 2 going nuts. God. I'm pretty sure this is the whole reason my PS2 kind of broke in the first place. Right. This is Outer Pass. I think this is, if I remember correctly, this is one of my favourite ones. Oh god, there are a few courses I absolutely hate in this game. Yeah, I think this is the one I like, because you can go around this corner, like, very quick. Oh, around the outside! Oh, I hit the wall, damn it. Am I almost in first already? Yeah, I'm almost in first already. Nice. Maybe I should have put it on medium, but then I would have regretted it in the later cups. But this section down here is really nice. So you kind of spin around this, and then you have like a slalom. And if you get it right, I forget which way the slalom is, and I can't see. It's this way. I saw it too late. Yeah, if you get it right, you can get through there without drifting, and it is very satisfying. This is the best corner in the game, because you could just flick it around like crazy. Well, at least in this car you can. You can't really do that in most other cars, which is why I like this car so much. Even though it's not the fastest thing in the world. Yeah. Also, one nice little detail that they put in this game, because you may be thinking that the Speedo looks a bit odd. Every car has its own individual Speedo design, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen another game do that. Unfortunately, the Mercurius isn't great. I don't like it an awful lot, but hey, you know, what can you do? It's, in my opinion, objectively the best car in the game. Because you can do crazy shit like that. Oh my god. See, in Ridge Racer 1, it was kind of based off this same physics, but the physics were awful. So basically the drifts kind of stopped when the game decided they stopped. And the game very often decided they stopped well after the corner is finished, where you're basically going at no speed whatsoever. And it just shoots you off into a wall. And if you crash into anything in the earlier Ridge Racer games, you lose literally all your speed. It is absolutely brutal. Well, we are trashing everyone. Either I'm playing way better than I remember me being able to play, but I don't think I am because I haven't set a PB lap yet in this video, I don't think. Or the standard cup is just a lot easier than I remember it being. I don't think I've played it since the first time I played it to unlock the extra cart. Extra cart? I'm talking bloody Mario Kart lingo now. The extra car. Although actually, oh yeah, that was a PB. There you go. Okay, fair enough. Let's see if we can beat that. Let's try and get the ascended lines. Oh, that was a really good line actually. I kind of barely winning, kind of flicked the car around the corner, and it didn't really turn throughout the rest of it, honestly. I just kind of corrected it where it needed to be corrected. Put my foot to the floor and just kind of hoped. Oh, it's so satisfying. You can really just put this thing. Once you like know how to drive, the EX is even better. Like once you kind of learn how to drive this thing, oh my god. It is a joy. And I got so lucky this is the car that I selected, because I chose it because it was the best looking car, honestly. And I got so lucky about that, because if I'd have started out with pretty much any other car, I probably wouldn't have liked this game anywhere near as much as I do. You can sort of do it with the EO and the Camaro Fiera. But they're a lot more slippery. Like this one just grips. 1:14.7. Oh my goodness. I should do a speedrun of this game. They do exist. I reckon I set a fairly terrible time, but I could actually try, maybe. I thought I'd be terrible going back into this, so I'd need like a load of practice, because that's what I normally do, but maybe I just still got speedruns go around in my head. I'm going to do that Mario Kart No Items one, but I wanted to play a slightly different game today. I was kind of torn between a few, but I decided on Ridge Racer 5 in the end, because this game's just amazing. So, yeah. I thought I'd stick with the arcade racer thing. Well, to be fair, most of the games I own are races. The other game I was considering playing... Well, I was considering playing SSX3, but I'll do that in a future video, because I've already recorded that. I've already done a few videos on that game in the past. But that's a snowboarding game. But the other game I was considering playing is a game called Fast Racing League, which is my favourite WiiWare game by a mile. And it's sort of like a Wipeout sort of game, except the physics are really tight rather than really loose. It's actually really interesting, but it's super well put together. It's the same sort of thing, like this game is just super polished, super well put together. Fast Racing League is the same sort of idea. It does not help that I can barely hear the car. All I can hear is the music. I can't hear the car like at all. Let's see, actually, what the is the sound? Whoops. Oh, you can change the track from there? Oh, that's the only thing you can do. Okay, never mind then, I suppose. Whoops. There you go. Ah! That came down at a really awkward angle. I wasn't expecting. Right, what course? Oh, okay. I'm not paying even the slightest bit of attention. I have no idea what course we're even on. Wasn't this like Outer City or something? I think this is one of the courses I don't like as much. I hate this slalom bit here. So I'm going to trigger a few people not changing gears on top, but I literally cannot hear the car at all. I remember that bit. That slalom bit is absolute hell, or chicane, not really a slalom. Yeah, this is one of the harder courses in the game. There's another one called Bayside Lane, which I think is coming next, which I had a grudge on for ages, but now that I'm kind of played it more, I actually kind of like it more. That is, what is that? Is that the Fiera? That might be the Commander Fiera, actually. Actually, I don't think it is. I don't know. The Commander Fiera is the one in Ridge Racer 3D. Which I played to death. I almost completed that game, honestly, 100%. It was so fun. It was a very different idea to this. Like in this, you kind of have computers at a set speed, but in that game, you sort of had like every opportunity was. Oh, the lap record is actually at the side. I didn't even realise that. Like every overtake was a battle, so the AI was programmed to like really fight back, and it was actually kind of an interesting system. And eventually, if you stayed ahead of him for long enough, they backed off. And then you moved on to the next guy. So it was less a race, really, and more just sort of 8 one-on-ones trying to, well, more 7 one-on-ones trying to fight your way to the top. It was actually kind of interesting. It was really fun. The physics were really good in that game. I enjoyed it a lot. I'd arguably say, well, it's the best racing game on the 3DS that I own. Oh, this corner! Oh god, Mercurio is good for stuff like that as well, because you can just absolutely yeet it in 7,000 different directions. Yeah, emulating the 3DS is going to be a nightmare. So I don't really know if I could play that, but might be worth looking into at some point. Because I really did play that game a lot. I would say it was probably the best racing game on the 3DS, honestly. It was just so well put together. Like pretty much every Namco Bandai game I've played. It's just super polished, super well put together. You know, there's all these animations and there's all this like extra effort and all that. How far am I ahead? I am 8.2. Oh, I got a bit of wheel spin now. I think I've got like a tiny little bit of air. 128 for it. Let's see if we can beat our lap record. 126.7. Let's not screw any of these corners up. I think I've screwed up on both laps so far. Oh my god, that was close. So I'll go wide, come into this one. Forget which corner it is. That's a tighter corner I was expecting. Ah, I hit the wall. Damn it. Well, the rest of it so far has actually been pretty good, so I'm not too stressed. Well, that wasn't a good exit actually. I lost a lot of speed. Kind of went in there a bit deep. And go around these corners and then kind of flick our way around. I'm not really sure. It might be faster to just turn into that one. Honestly, it was definitely faster to drift around this one. Whoa, god! You want to do kind of quite a vicious drift around there. That yellow dot on the minimap up in the top left is the leading computer. We are a long way away from them. I think you can turn, yeah, you can turn using the D-pad as well for those 5 movements. I did that a lot in Gran Turismo 3 when you're on the straights. There we go. Yeah, you do that a lot on the straights if you kind of wanted to kind of straighten yourself up a bit. You just use the D-pad because it's a lot less sensitive. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. I keep thinking it's X, not start. Skip. Alright, got one more cup. Sorry, one more race. Then we're done with the standard. I do kind of wonder if we still get like the animations, or like the cutscenes for getting the cars. I don't think you do because I've obviously already unlocked the car. I could have maybe started a new save actually, but I couldn't be bothered. There's not really much of a point. Where are we on now? Oh yeah, Bayside Line. Oh, I don't like that track. Let's move on to... let's get the Boom Boom Satellites back. I don't really remember most of the others. But I just know that track number... I'm pretty sure it's track number 2. Is like really horrible. I don't like it at all. So yeah, I think there's only like 10 tracks in the game or something. And I like track 1, I like track 7. I can't remember the numbers more, I remember the names. I think track 4 is pretty good. Probably could have put track 4 on, but oh well. Yeah, I'd say this is one of the harder tracks in the game, but once you kind of get used to it, it's actually quite enjoyable. The race is about to start. At least as far as I remember, it might be absolutely awful. But like the back section is really fun because you kind of got like a lot of chicanes that you can go through full speed. And that's where the fun really comes in this game. Like the really tight corners and those sort of chicanes you could just fly through. And I miss a gear. Nice. Or I'm misshifted or over revved, I guess would be the phrase. Oh, taking the outside line to avoid that guy. There we go. Look at all these plebs. These noobs. I'm on the podium already. There's first up ahead. Yeah, this won't happen on the... Oh my god. This won't happen on the EX Cups. The EX Cups are genuinely a lot harder. Like, this is just kind of... I think this is just a slower speed one to get you into the game. And then you move on to the faster cups once you actually kind of have a bearing on how everything controls, and then the AI difficulty steps up. At least I hope it does. Otherwise, I suppose I could just move on to medium if it does. If it does get a bit too easy. I'm gonna try and take this guy on the inside. Nice. Cut that super tight. I was worried I was actually going to clip the wall there. So I took that really tight. Like a little bit tighter than I would have wanted. But we got the position. So it's fine. We now just kind of got to get to the end. This is the tight one, wasn't it? And then, yeah, it's kind of this bit up here. You can see that loot. I remember not liking that loot very much. Ah, God. You've got to take a... You have to get the line pretty perfect. You can... Yeah, kind of just go through all this bit at full speed if you know what you're doing. Oh, way too early. Oh, can you go through? Oh yeah, and then it tightens up. Take it to the left. I think one of these corners coming up is like really quite vicious. That's like a blind chicane. That's a horrible corner, that one. That whole section's like blind. Oh yeah, there's this bit as well. Oh, I'm not even changing gear. So if you go on the red stuff, you like lose a load of speed. I don't fully know why. I had to release off. I was hoping to get around at full speed, but there's that bit. It's like if you don't know the course, this is an absolute nightmare to drive. But once you kind of know what you're doing, it's actually really fun. It's actually a mode to change gears. There we go. And I literally cannot hear the car to save my life. Because I know I've got it on really low volume, so I can actually hear myself talk at the moment. But actually, I don't think these standard cars are very loud. I think the EX cars are a lot louder, so you might hear them in the next one. All right, okay. Get around there. Can probably just lift off rather than actually brake around there, I think. And then you go, yeah, through the chicane again. There is actually a variant where the chicane is the other side, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just making that up. And go around this corner that I absolutely love. It's so much fun just zipping around it. You make up so much time in the Mikura over anything else. Like the thing is, stuff like, I forget the names of most of the other cars, but stuff like, well, the faster cars, and they make up all their times on the straights, but really are not going in a straight line a huge amount on like a good number of these courses. That line, oh, that line worked. And you want to clip that as, well, you ideally want to clip that a little tighter, but I still made it, so I probably wouldn't have made that in the EX. But in the standard cars, I'm still calling them karts. I'm playing too much Mario Kart. But yeah, in the standard cars, it's a little bit easier to make some of these turns because he's not going quite as quick. Yeah, I remember this kind of slowdown bit being on the outside. Maybe that's on a different track. I suppose what you could do is you could actually use that to slow down a little bit and kind of take it flat. I've tried to do it before, but I've never been able to work out like the ideal line for it. Oh, that was bad. That was a bad corner. I still made it around without having to lift off, so that was good. We didn't lose that much time around here. Yeah, the drifting physics are quite forgiving in the way that they work. Wow, I PB'd by like 4 minutes. Not 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Jesus. Ha ha! Go on here. Yeah, it turns out not playing this game for like 2 years makes you better at it or something. Oh, is it 2 years? It might actually be. Last time I remember playing it was in first year of uni, which is like 3 years ago. I must have played it since. It's one of my favourite PS2 games. It's kind of, I have this, I have SSX3, Burnout 3, and Gran Turismo 3. Are kind of my 4, almost like go-tos in a sense. Because I just absolutely love this game. There's not a huge amount of content. There's only really 5 cups, and then you move on to the next car. But the replay value is... It's nice to come back to this game every now and then and just fly around these 23 seconds ahead. Oh, I messed that chord up completely. That seemed like a good line when I was entering, but no, I just washed out wide. Yeah, I'm not beating the lap record again. Especially because I'm not changing it. Though I was still accelerating. The gears are actually quite lenient on this car. I was over like crazy. I was getting all the way up to 230. I normally change it to 220. That was interesting. Maybe I do normally change it to. I don't really remember. I normally have like an audio key on the engine revs to change, but as I've said, I can't hear it at the moment. And maybe with the EX cars because they are louder, as I said before. It might work out. But that'll be next week. If I do any more Mario Kart speedruns, I'll upload them in the meantime. But we might actually beat the PB. Oh no, we're not quite going to. Ah, if I didn't hit that wall, we might have got 207 there. And then we get the victory music. That looks like a Ford Mustang, that one. That one just straight up looks like a Mustang. And that one looks, to be fair, that one looks like a Diablo. Lamborghini Diablo. That might be what I've been thinking of earlier. I was like, what car is that? And that one's just a Ferrari Testarossa. I've actually never noticed how similar these cars look to some other ones, actually. It's interesting. We got first, average of 213 kilometers an hour. My goodness. Congratulations, you've been awarded a trophy for the victory. Nice. I might as well save, because we'll save our lap times. Yeah, it doesn't look as though we're going to get any of the fancy cutscenes about the cars. I might see if I can input them in maybe in editing. That would be fun to do. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this first part. Yeah, I'll have these up weekly, so it'll be a 5-episode series. And it'll just be doing, all the different cups. Actually, no, would it be 6? No, I'll probably do the final race, because there is a 6th cup at the end, but it's only one race long, and the race is quite short, so I'll probably put that at the end of the video. Yeah, I will see you next week, where we take on the first of the extra cups. So I'll see you for that.